Know that feeling of when one of your little plant babies start wilting and starts drooping and dies, RIP. These are my top 5 recommendations for all of my clients who want low maintenance, gorgeous plants with zero effort and hassle of keeping them alive. And before you say, I can kill a cactus, listen, you can kill a cactus, you can kill anything. If you're not caring for them in the right way. So I'm going to share with you not only what these top low maintenance Feng Shui plants are, but the care instructions for them and what you're probably doing wrong if they haven't lasted for very long in your home. No judgment. Let's get into it. Welcome back to My Piece of Space. I'm Danni Sinclair, holistic interior designer, helping you to feel peace in your body, in your space. Plants offer you stress-free living, reduces anxiety, regulates your nervous system. Houseplant can support beauty and energy in your space, increase vibrancy, reduce toxins from the air, increase the oxygen levels in your air, and remove negative energy. All from a little baby houseplant. I mean, so you don't really have to be a plant mom or a plant dad or have 2 green thumbs in order to have a lush, lively environment with plants in your home. So the first plant we want to talk about today is the snake plant. I love snake plants because they are probably the top air quality control plant that we know of. They reduce negative energy, mold, toxins out of the air and replace that with oxygen. So these are by far top on the list for the healthiest and the easiest plants that you can have in your home. And the reason why snake plants are such a big recommendation for Feng Shui is because they bring in the energy of protection. If you look at a snake plant, it has the tall, sharp leaves that kind of resemble a sword. The way that the plants grow is what gives us insight into the frequency of the plant. So if you're thinking about that sword-like energy, it is ready for battle. It is ready for energy, and it is going to offer you maximum protection, getting all that negativity out of your space, cutting it all out with the sword. And in doing so, also releasing positive oxygen back into your space. These plants grow tall if you let them, upright. They grow to 3 or 4 feet in some cases. They really do tolerate low light. They many don't know that they're succulents, so they don't like a lot of water. And so most of the time, if I'm seeing snake plants drooping or even yellowing, it's because you're overwatering it, or it doesn't have properly draining soil. If the soil is too dense and it's holding on to too much water, then that's why they begin to get unhappy. These plants really don't like a lot of water. Like, you can go a month or more sometimes if you're really neglectful, and they will be chilling, thriving. They don't like a lot of water. So the worst thing you could do to a snake plant is give it water. Other than that, put it in a corner and let it live. It's gonna be great. They do like light though. They tolerate low light, but they are succulents. They do like bright light. So anytime I'm noticing that my snake plants that are in a low light situation or a dark corner, I will rotate it to a bright sunny window for a couple of months just to give it some sunshine so it can do its little photosynthesis thing and start producing some new shoots. Other than that, it's so low maintenance. It don't need nothing. Let's move on to the second plant I recommend for ease. ZZ plant. Love ZZ plant. These are, again, succulents. So we know about succulents is they like a well-draining soil, not really dense, and not a lot of water. So the worst thing you can do to a ZZ plant is overwater it. ZZ plants are beautiful and they produce these nice, bright, vibrant shoots with leaves, but they grow really slow. So they don't like a lot of water. You can water these once a month and they'll be really, really happy. Their stalks actually holds the water, all the water that they need. So when they get fed water, they store that water into their stalks. They don't need to sit in a lot of water. This is going to actually weaken the ZZ plant. I love them for their slow growing, steady, grounded energy. I love placing ZZ plants basically anywhere in the home. They do great in the living room, in the bathroom, in the bedroom, in the kitchen. There's no wrong placement for a ZZ plant. I really think their leaves give that sort of soft edge, kind of spa-like vibe. So they're really and they're so low maintenance. Great plant to have around. The third Feng Shui plant that I recommend to all my clients is Pothos. I know you probably have Pothos. Like every plant person has a Pothos because they're so easy to keep and so easy to propagate. You can literally take a couple clippings of them, place them in the water, and you have a new plant. That in itself is a really easy way to create a green environment within your home with a super easy Pothos. Take clippings and just put them all around your home. They can stay in the water for quite a while before they need to be rooted into soil. These plants grow in a downward trailing manner unless you stake them to grow up. They need support in order to grow up. And because of that, energetically, the frequency that they give off is a more flowy, expansive vibe. So this brings to mind more of a creative, soothing, moody energy. When I think of Pothos, I think of rain, especially if you have them trailing down. And so that energy of like a fresh rain, like a fresh spring rain, is the energy that comes to mind when I think of Pothos. So it's going to be more relaxing, more soothing, more grounded, but it does still have a lot of energy. There's a lot of movement. And because of this movement, they're one of the plants that I do have some restrictions around placing them in your home. You want to think about that movement. Is it a place that you want to have so much movement? So bedrooms are definitely places where I say probably minimize the amount of Pothos, if at all, because they move a lot, even throughout the day. I'm not talking about over the course of weeks or months. Throughout the day, a Pothos, you don't notice it, but they are moving back and forth and up and down. They're chasing the sun. And that energy is being deflected into your home. So when you're sleeping at night, you may not be noticing the leaves are closing up a little bit more. They might be drifting a little bit. And so this is energy that you don't want to have moving around you so much at nighttime. So they're the plants that I would say on this list, I would recommend not placing in your bedroom. If you're ready to create a home that supports your peace and your energy, then book a sanctuary session with me. We uncover what's holding your space back and what we can do to shift the energy. You can also take my free quiz in the link below to find out what your space is reflecting about you now. The fourth plant that we're going to get into is lucky bamboo. It wouldn't be a feng shui plant without lucky bamboo. So lucky bamboo, we're thinking about the way that our plants grow. So lucky bamboo grows sturdy, upright, and really fast when it's in the wild. When you chop them, or when we have the cuttings, they don't grow as quickly. So this is why these plants represent luck and prosperity and expansion and growth. They are really the feng shui symbolism of growth and expansion. So if you're looking to expand any energy in any space in your home, then it's really easy to incorporate some lucky bamboo for color. And they are so easy to maintain. They literally only need water. That's it. A lucky bamboo can survive in fresh water for like 2 or 3 years before it actually needs some nutrients from the soil. It needs to be planted. So these are by far one of the easiest plants that I recommend. You can literally set it and forget it and just remember to replace it with fresh water every couple of weeks. And there you go. You have instant color and instant expansion. So for our fifth and final plant, we have the money tree. So I will say I lied a little bit because this baby girl is really not that low maintenance. Well, she's low maintenance, but she's not that easy. She's finicky. She likes things a certain way. Okay. So the money tree is, again, one of the most popular feng shui plants for abundance because these leaves typically have 5 leaves on them, which is 5 coins, $5. So it represents money. Although sometimes, like this one has 6. That's an anomaly. Every once in a while, they might pop out with 6, but for the most part, they have 5. And these plants also do not like a lot of water. They do need more frequent watering. Their schedule is probably about every week or so, and they like fresh water, not tap water. Like I said, she a little finicky, but she does like to dry out. She doesn't like to sit in a lot of water. Because her bark here, much like how I was saying about the ZZ plant, where the shoots actually stores the water, your money tree is going to do that as well. So anytime where I'm seeing that you're having problems with any of these plants, except for the bamboo, because it sits in water, it's because they're being overwatered. They really like to dry out because they have their own system for storing their water. And then one thing I will say about her is that she just doesn't like to be moved too much. So if you found a spot in your home that she likes, don't go moving her all around the house. She don't like that. She's just she a little prissy. She's a little dramatic, and she just like her way. But other than that, she don't take much. She just, she requires a little bit more attention. Don't we all? So those are my top 5 feng shui plants that I recommend to all my clients, no matter what, because they're so easy to maintain and so low maintenance. Let me know in the comments, do you have any of these plants, or are you thinking about getting one now that you have a little bit more information on them? Check out the comments for the links. I will be back in my next video specifically talking about plant energy in the bedroom and what plants I do and do not recommend. See you then. Peace.